And with Ilia, it's everything. It's his submissions, his kicks, his punches, everything. He can do anything. I mean, he does everything perfect. All his technique is perfect. And he's driven and ultra confident. You know, this is an amazing time for the sport, man. It's a crazy time because these guys that are coming in with like one fight in the UFC, they look like world-class contenders, like right away.
Yeah. Ilia Topuria just shook the UFC to its core. Joe Rogan calls him the spark the sport desperately needed, signaling a thrilling new era. With every knockout, Ilia's rise is rewriting UFC history, and the world is watching. The UFC is changing fast, with new fighters making big moves. Ilia Topuria has stood out by beating some of the best featherweights easily. His quick rise is getting lots of attention and making fans excited for a new and exciting time in MMA. People, including the famed combat sport personality Joe Rogan, can't wait to see what he does next.
Ilia Topuria, who's fighting Charles Oliveira at the end of the month, like that guy is insane. That guy's knocked out two of the greatest featherweights of all time, Volkanovski and Max Holloway. Nobody could knock those guys out in featherweight before, and he did it. And he did it, and he made it look easy. You know, he made it look like they're like he's just on another level from everybody. You know, and then now he's moving up to 155 pounds. He's like decided he cleared out that division. He's moving up. Like he's
insane. Yeah,
insane. There's guys like that are just so their level is above everybody else's level.
Building on his impressive wins, Ilia Topuria has showcased not just power, but a complete skill set that's turning heads. From precise punches to sharp kicks, his technique is polished and relentless. Even seasoned experts agree that in the world of UFC contenders, Ilia is already operating at an elite world-class level.
And with Ilia, it's everything. It's his submissions, his kicks, his punches, everything. He can do anything. I mean, he does everything perfect. All his technique is perfect. And he's driven and ultra confident. You know, this is an amazing time for the sport, man. It's a crazy time because these guys that are coming in with like one fight in the UFC, they look like world-class contenders, like right away.
Yeah.
As he continued, Joe Rogan went on to explain how Ilia Topuria truly shines, even when facing the toughest fighters in the featherweight division. He emphasized that Ilia's skill, power, and determination set him apart, making him one of the most promising and exciting athletes in the UFC right now.
Ilia Topuria, who is a killer.
Oh my God, that guy punches so hard.
Oh, he does everything so good. Ilia Topuria is that guy he is special. He's a real challenge.
When he fought Mitchell,
the UFC world is buzzing not only about Ilia Topuria's rapid rise, but also about the fiery rivalries he's sparking. Even Michael Bisping has weighed in, highlighting the brewing feud between Ilia and Paddy Pimblett. With a big title fight on the horizon, Ilia's already making waves beyond the octagon.
Ilia's going to fight Charles the Bronx Oliveira next week, International Fight Week, for the vacant title. And he's already got his sights on Paddy Pimblett next because he is a pain in the... He is a prick. He does not like him one little bit. Fair enough. Paddy's been talking calling him hand sanitizer.
Furthermore, Bisping points out Ilia Topuria's fearless attitude. Even with a big title fight against Charles Oliveira coming up, Ilia isn't just focused on that. He's confident and already looking ahead, seeing himself as a champion and aiming for even bigger challenges in the future. His mindset shows he's ready for anything.
He's backed it up every single time, Ilia Topuria. But to be fair, so has Paddy Pimblett. Now, Topuria's already got a fight. And people always say, you can't look past your next opponent. Yes, you can. Yes, you can if you're confident. Yes, you can if you believe in yourself. Yes, you can if you firmly believe that you're going to go out there and just walk through Oliveira, become the champion of the world. Then, of course, you're going to look forward and think, who am I going to fight next? Who is the biggest matchup for me?
As the tension between Ilia Topuria and Paddy Pimblett continues to build, Ilia hasn't held back on social media. Responding to past insults and jabs, he reminded fans of just how far he's come since their first clash at a press conference, and questioned whether Paddy has done enough to even stand across from him now.
So Ilia Topuria said, verbatim, he's a hypocrite. I'll tell you. I remember we shared a press conference and he said something like, I'm going to be fighting on the main card and you're on the prelim, some kind of nonsense. And now I'm thinking, I have 2 featherweight belts. Where are you? Who the is Paddy Pimblett right now, and why should he deserve to fight me?
While most fans assumed the trash talk between Ilia Topuria and Paddy Pimblett was typical fight hype, Ilia recently revealed the real reason behind the bad blood, and it runs much deeper. According to Ilia, things crossed the line when Paddy made a disturbing comment about Georgia, his home country, during a past interview.
yeah, he said something about Georgia.
Oh, he said something about your country.
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said, like, now I understand why the Russians are bombing Georgia or something, like putting bombs in Georgia. And
Whoa.
I'm like, bro,
Whoa.
don't joke with that.
Yeah,
You
it's a
can
fucked
joke
up thing to
about
joke
me.
about.
Say whatever you want to say about me. Whatever. He's a mushroom. He is this. He is that. Don't talk about war because you don't know how is it.
Right. That's a crazy thing
Yeah.
to say.
On the other side, as Ilia Topuria gears up for the biggest fight of his career, he's already breaking down the mental edge that separates champions from the rest. Speaking on Charles Oliveira's record, Ilia explained how losses affect a fighter's mindset and why facing an undefeated opponent brings a completely different kind of pressure.
Up Michael Chandler
It doesn't
better
matter.
than Charles Oliveira did.
It does. And Charles Oliveira, even this what I was telling you before, like when you got 10 losses in your record, that's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's 10.
Yeah.
Like when you walk in with a guy that has 10 losses, the level of confidence is completely different. It's completely different than when you walk in with a guy that it's undefeated.
Right.
He's a dangerous guy in the striking, in the ground game, everywhere you look at him, he's a dangerous guy. He never takes a lose. That's a different mentality. You gotta have to kill him to give up. He's not gonna even give up. You gotta have to kill him.
As fight night approaches, analysts are starting to take firm positions, and Michael Bisping is one of them. Breaking down Ilia Topuria's all-around game, Bisping pointed to his striking, movement, and wrestling as key reasons why he believes Ilia has what it takes to beat Charles Oliveira when they finally meet in the octagon.
It's the power in the hands, which is why I'm picking him against Charles Oliveira, because I just think he'll catch him at some point. But nothing is guaranteed in MMA. You cannot take anything for granted. So many ways to win and lose. I think for the most part, it's just because Ilia Topuria is that good. He moves around the octagon. He's got excellent footwork. He controls the rhythm, controls the range. He's a threat with the strikes. He stops the takedowns with his Greco-Roman wrestling background.
With the spotlight firmly on Ilia Topuria's title shot, Michael doesn't ignore what could come next. While acknowledging the danger Charles Oliveira brings, Bisping lays out the likely scenario if Ilia wins, and all signs point to a massive showdown with Paddy Pimblett, one that could turn into one of the UFC's biggest promotional events.
Ilia's got to get through Charles the Bronx Oliveira first. That isn't a given. But I'll tell you what is given. If he does, Paddy Pimblett is going to be waiting on the sideline. And I guarantee that'll be Ilia's first title defense. And I'll tell you what, if you're in the camp of Paddy Pimblett, if you are Paddy Pimblett, if you're a coach, manager, whatever it is, it's a good time. Because right now, there's never been a better time to be Paddy Pimblett. The sport's bigger than ever. They're going to do a crazy promo. Ilia's going to call him out.
As one of the most cerebral champions in UFC history, Alexander Volkanovski knows exactly what it takes to survive inside the cage with Ilia Topuria. Breaking down the matchup with Charles Oliveira, Volk pointed out just how dangerous Ilia can be, even in the middle of chaos.
Ilia and Charles, Ilia has a chance to knock anyone out. You know, he's got solid hands and very, very dangerous. And he's very, he's got a very good focus. So even when things aren't going his way, he's still, you know, he's got like this tunnel vision of, I'm going to find this shot. And that's dangerous when you've got a guy like you, you're like jabbing him up, jabbing, he's missing shots. Some people usually start to like, oh, I better watch out, I better not throw shots until I know they're there, you know, start second guessing themselves. I don't know if I've seen that in Ilia.
Volkanovski further highlighted how Ilia Topuria's mindset sets him apart from many fighters. While others may hesitate under pressure, Ilia stays fully focused and relentless, always searching for the knockout. This unwavering determination and sharp mental edge make him a dangerous and exciting competitor inside the octagon.
So when you've got someone that's that stoic through that process, you know, he could definitely find that shot, and if he does, he could put anyone even in the lightweight division out. You know, but again, he's going to find tough guys. I don't think Charles Oliveira is going to be on the back foot at all. I think he's going to, you know, that's something that'll be different for Ilia. I don't think he's ever had someone be like, nah, jam forward as well, if that makes sense. So we'll see how Ilia goes if he's on the back foot. I think I've seen him a couple of times where he had to go on the back foot a little bit. He just doesn't have the same shots, have his same strikes, or, his game plan to find the shots.
However, Volkanovski noted a key challenge for Ilia Topuria will be fighting off his back foot against Oliveira. Since Topuria thrives under pressure, having to retreat could expose a vulnerability. This defensive aspect might be the toughest test in the fight, potentially affecting Ilia's usual aggressive style inside the octagon.
His game plan to find the shots just changes a little bit, and I think it throws him off a little bit. So I think earlier on, seeing that adjustment will be interesting, because I think Charles is going to come with, even though he's high, there would be opportunities for Ilia to land, but I feel like he maybe, if Ilia's on the back foot, let's see how he goes there. That's going to be interesting.
As whispers of weight class shakeups flooded the MMA world, Chael Sonnen pulled back the curtain on Ilia Topuria's strategic move. According to Sonnen, this wasn't a spontaneous leap to lightweight, it was a carefully planned move months in the making.
Knowing how this happened matters. Ilia Topuria telegraphed. He laid the groundwork for months that he was going to 55. He called out Islam by name repeatedly. He did not call out any 45-pounders. He did not go to the media. He did not get something going with 45-pounders. We then get the information that Ilia went to the UFC and made it official. I am not going back to 145. I want to fight for the title at 155, of which the UFC did not commit to. They didn't love the idea that he was moving up.
While Ilia's decision to move up came with bold ambitions, Chael also pointed out how Islam Makhachev's future wasn't exactly locked in either. The lightweight champ had his uncertainties and even teased an interest in jumping to welterweight.
I mean, he talked about, I think Ilia should have to do something first. He talked about he's not ranked. He's talking about Charles is the guy. He talked about, I had some business with Artem. And he made it clear that his own interest was at 170 pounds, but that he wanted to wait for the result.
Meanwhile, adding even more weight to the hype of the upcoming challenge, former lightweight title challenger Dustin Poirier carefully analyzed the upcoming fight, emphasizing the striking physical and stylistic differences between Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira. Dustin's perspective highlights why this matchup is so captivating, promising a clash full of contrasting skills and thrilling unpredictability inside the octagon.
I think he's going to be way undersized against Charles. I just don't, unless Charles can sub him, maybe if he hurts him, but it's going to be tough, I think. Because Charles gets hit a lot, and Ilia puts people away. I'm excited about it.
Meanwhile, the fight between Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira has fans and fighters buzzing, with many debating who has the advantage. Sean O'Malley offers a fair view, pointing out that both fighters have strong skills. He says the match is a real toss-up, making it one of the most exciting and unpredictable fights to watch.
Man, that's one where your heart's telling you, Charles, and your brain's telling you Ilia. It's just that one's a coin flip. Can't count Charles out. Ilia's on an absolute tear. Charles does get hit and Ilia cracks. That fight I am very excited for.
Taking a deeper tactical view, former light heavyweight contender Anthony Smith offered a detailed tactical breakdown of the fight, spotlighting the critical strengths and weaknesses that could determine the outcome. He emphasized Charles Oliveira's defensive vulnerabilities and how Ilia Topuria's sharp precision, strategic striking, and high fight IQ could give him the edge in this highly anticipated matchup.
I typically look at, when you get two guys like these two that are very, very good, then you start looking at their defensive responsibilities and who has the larger deficiency. That's 100% Charles Oliveira. He's so hittable. Yeah. He loves to fight into wars. Ilia Topuria does not engage in bullshit. He's super crisp, very, very clean boxer, but goes to the body well, leg kicks really well, so strategic and so well thought out, and has an incredibly high fight IQ. I just don't know how Charles Oliveira stays safe in any kind of striking range, fighting the way that he fights with Ilia Topuria. I just think that he's going to get hit hard. He's going to get hurt. And I don't know that he can take down Ilia Topuria. And if he did, I don't know that he would out-grapple him anyway.
Even Paddy Pimblett offered a surprisingly honest take on Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. Putting the feud aside, he acknowledged Charles's vulnerability due to his age and wear, while pointing out the major size difference between weight classes. According to Paddy, those 10 extra pounds at lightweight could make all the difference in this explosive matchup.
I think he might, to be honest. Charles is a bit chinny, isn't he? You know what I mean? He's had about 40 fights or something. He always gets punched. He always gets cracked.
Yeah.
So,
he's reckless, but he's super exciting.
Yeah, he is.
And he's dangerous.
if he gets him down, I can see him winning, because that £10 difference is a big difference.
Yeah.
145 to 155, it's a big difference. People don't understand that because they don't watch the sport or they're not involved in the sport. But that £10 makes a big difference. And especially, like, Charles is like my height. Ilia's like down here when I stand up. Know what I mean?
Amid all the hype surrounding Ilia Topuria's undefeated streak, some top contenders are already imagining how they'd fare against him. Lightweight powerhouse Arman Tsarukyan, known for his elite-level grappling, didn't hold back when asked whether he could impose his game on the featherweight champ if they ever met inside the octagon.
Перевести точно перевел бы, но он такой маленький, короткий, ему таких, наоборот, тяжело удержать. Перевести перевел бы, но вот удержать 5 минут, не знаю. Даю, увидим. Ну, я люблю работать локтями, мне не нужно там все 5 минут держать его, если я попаду один раз хорошо локтем, и мне уже будет намного легче драться.
Building off his detailed grappling breakdown, Arman didn't stop at just Oliveira's ground threats. He pointed out exactly why Topuria's approach will be different. Unlike wrestlers who dive into the chaos of scrambles, Tsarukyan believes Ilia will use his sharpest weapon, his hands.
Да, конечно, Оливейра очень опасный, с любой позиции может душить. Но просто перевести у Оливейра не такая вольная борьба. Допустим, моя работа, да, я люблю переводить. То есть я его перевожу, и он может контратаку какую-то сделать, там, душающий взять, как он взял меня там. То есть это возни не будет. Топурия просто будет работать, боксировать, не будет пытаться его переводить, так как у него намного лучше бокс, чем у Оливейры. А у Оливейры, мне кажется, недостаточно вольной борьбы, чтобы перевести Топурию.
Even Michael Chandler, a man who's gone toe-to-toe with Charles Oliveira in one of the most explosive title fights in recent memory, had a hard time making a definitive call. Reflecting on both men's strengths, Chandler acknowledged just how razor-thin this matchup truly is.
So I'll be cage side for that fight to watch it, and we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, who do you think is going to win?
Man, it's tough. You don't bet against freaking Charles Oliveira because
Right.
he's so dang good everywhere, and he's a really hard guy to beat. With that being said, Ilia Topuria's got some crazy power in his hands and crazy accurate strikes. So it'll be very interesting to see how that fight goes.
Ilia Topuria isn't simply chasing a UFC title, he's becoming the face of a new and exciting era in the sport. His rise through the featherweight ranks has been nothing short of impressive, with dominant performances that have turned heads and captured the attention of fans and experts alike. But Ilia's impact goes beyond just winning fights. It's the way he carries himself, the confidence in his strikes, his fearless attitude, and the sharpness of his skills that have everyone talking. Joe Rogan's praise of Ilia as the spark that reignited the UFC isn't just empty hype, it reflects a real change happening inside the organization. Ilia is bringing energy, excitement, and a new level of intensity to the octagon. He's not afraid to call out top names and push boundaries, even moving up to lightweight to challenge himself further. His mindset shows a fighter who isn't satisfied with just being good. He believes he's destined for greatness. But the story doesn't end with Ilia's upcoming fight against Charles Oliveira at UFC 317. More drama and anticipation are waiting just around the corner. Paddy Pimblett, a fierce rival, is waiting in the wings, ready to challenge Ilia's reign. This is about more than one fight. It's about legacy, about staking a claim as one of the best in the world. Is Ilia Topuria truly the face of the UFC's new era, or will Charles Oliveira remind the world that kings aren't crowned overnight? Drop your predictions in the comments.